Different match, same result for Tottenham Hotspur as they fall to Manchester United on Sunday, 3-1. Michael Ramirez here with Jacob Walraven,
Hey,
another episode of the United Spurs of America podcast. Welcome back, everyone. And Jacob, like I already touched on, 3-1 loss to Manchester United for Tottenham Hotspur, and it's just disappointing, man. It's frustrating, disappointing. It's sad. I have a bitter taste in my mouth. I'm sure you do too. But initial thoughts on the match, man. Big game, and in my opinion, big chance thrown away at a very, very quality win.
well, for me personally, I feel like we say this every week. Disappointed to say the least. For me, I thought we had a pretty decent first half. There was the controversial VAR call with the eye poke of Heung-min Son, and um, you know that was fortunate to go our way. People have differing opinions on that, and I think that's fine. I think anyone, if that's their team, they're going to say it's not. But you watch that game, there were a lot of ticky-tacky fouls,
Yep.
and um, but then we go on to get the goal. We, go into the half up 1-0. I'm thinking, okay, Eric Dyer hasn't been too bad at this point. Um, and then I just think uh we showed our true colors. We showed our true colors there at the end, and it's very unfortunate. It's quite bad. I think I have here. I saw. I don't know if it's NBC or Sky Sports tweeted it out that 18 dropped points when we're in the lead.
Yep.
18 dropped points when we're in the league. I'm going to say that a third time. 18 drop points when we're in the lead. So if we would have just maintained lead and you know
Actually finished out matches.
Oh, we'd be up there fighting Manchester United and City for top spot, and it's highly unfortunate.
I
Um,
already mentioned it, man, but it's a different game. And like you already touched on it, 18 points dropped from leading positions in the Premier League this season. Different match, same result, man. We
Different
go
game,
1-0
same
up.
pain.
Yeah, for real. First half, oh my God. What a first half from Tottenham from really the get-go, man. Spurs really had control of that game. If I felt like we were in United's half for most of the first half, those first 45
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Obviously, Heung-min Son scores the opener for Tottenham in what late in the first half, midway through the first half, and it's all for naught at the end of the day. Another 1-0 lead blown. We decided to sit back in the second half and invite pressure into our own half. I still don't understand why we do this to ourselves, man. It's you've already mentioned that it's unfortunate, it's disappointing. I'm just fed up with it. 18 points you said
18 points dropped.
in winning positions
When
in
we've
the
been in
Premier
the
League.
lead, we've dropped 18 points. Now I don't know how that exactly ties into wins losses, but as far as I'm concerned, even if we just got 9 more points, say half of that, if we were able for half of those games to finish,
We'd be in top four.
we're still top four. If we
Yeah.
finished all those games, as I think a top club should do, like a Manchester City, we'd be right behind them in second place. And so, to me, uh, another example of missed opportunities. It was the hope that kills you because game days you can't tell me that we're not going to win. I feel it in my bone. I feel it in my blood, and you know to sit there and just have to accept the final whistle, that's the final result, that's all that we could give for those 90 plus minutes. um I'm disappointed, to say the least. I mean, if you look at the aggregate, I guess there's one positive here, right? If you look at the aggregate versus Manchester United, what is it, 7-4? So
Yeah.
I'll
Seven
take it.
four.
I'll take it. It's unfortunate. I would have liked these results at opposite times, right? I would have liked to face, like, if you had to face the loss, I would have rather faced it whenever we did beat them 6-1, and I'd rather win right now because we need the points right now. And
Yep.
so, yeah. Is it a meltdown? Uh, is it? That's a genuine question. I'm very curious. Is this a meltdown? Is this the end of Jose? Does he get sacked, say, this week before the Everton game? Does he get sacked after the Everton game? I saw something. Someone said to bring in Ledley King and let him coach. And they said we're gonna win the Carabao champs, baby. And so for me, hey, that would be amazing. I'd love to see it, but I still can't help but back the manager. I don't know how you feel about it, but I can't help but back the manager until he's no longer our manager.
Well, you look at our chances at a top four finish now. 6 points behind fourth placed West Ham. Oh my God, that sounds so weird to say. Fourth place West Ham and them being above us in the Premier League table. I'm still trying to get used to it. 6 points off of fourth. 8 games to go, right? Um, I've gotten to the point, man, where
Well, seven
I
Premier League
honestly,
games.
sorry, yeah, seven Premier League games. I've gotten to the point, man, where I just think it's you're gonna have different managers at the club, um, obviously, but I feel like if you put any manager to lead these group of players, I think you're gonna get the same sort of results, to be honest.
I
Until
mean,
some of these players get out of the club that are ruining the mentality of the dressing room, ruining the vibe, the family atmosphere,
yeah.
when egos start to get in the way, it's just sad to watch, man, because I remember just a few years ago, us being one of the most tightly knit groups in the entirety of Europe, really. You 16, 17 season, 17, 18, 15, 16. You see those teams under Pochettino, the family style environment, everyone talking about how close everyone is to each other, basically their family. I don't get that feeling anymore from the players, and it's unfortunate. I know we talked about it before the pod, but if you guys haven't already, I would highly recommend watching the Sonny interview post match, from Man United,
I don't know if I'd
and
highly
just
recommend if you want to get depressed and you want to
yeah,
have a rough rest of your day. Um, yeah, that my wife was there listening while I was watching that interview with Young's Son, and at the very end, the Tottenham interviewer said, I've known you 6 years and I've never seen you this low.
yep,
And it wasn't even a question. He just said it just like to him. And I thought that was kind of strange. Um, and Hyungin's reaction kind of says it all. I think he's defeated. I mean, he scored. We haven't seen the man smile since. And it's unfortunate. That's my favorite player. He's part
yeah.
of
We know
the
you're a big Sonny fan.
Yeah, you can see him back there. That's my guy. I always say son is my father. So he's the man, and I hate to see him feeling this way. And I also did see a video going around about kind of his reaction with Jose post game immediately on the field. And it looked like he kind of dodged attention. Some might say that there's not much there. We're kind of reading into it as fans, but his body language to me suggested, "Don't touch me, Jose." And I think that's unfortunate. I mean, it's
Shall
not
we
a good place.
go over our man of the matches of the game? You
Yeah,
want to go first?
if we
Who's your
have
man of the
to,
match from Man United?
I'm gonna let you
Well,
go
not
first
from
on
Man
this.
United, but all right. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll let you go
All right, my
first.
man of the match against Man United today. I wanted to be honest, man. I want to say Tanguy and Ndombele, but I think just because he scored and I felt like he handled the ball really well, especially in the midfield, cutting inside, and I thought he was a bit dangerous on the wing today. I got to give it to Sonny, and I think Lucas and Ndombele are close seconds, but just because Sonny did get the goal, I'm gonna go with him. Um, I thought he did his part. Other players sadly did not, especially that back line, but I'm gonna go with Sonny. What about you?
Um, this one's tough for me because I think my heart tells me Sonny because he scored and he got the goal. Um, but someone that stood out to me that just continually was giving hell to Manchester United was Pierre Emile Højbjerg. So I feel I feel like I want to say Pierre because he just continually fought, even though, you know, we weren't the best in our own half. Think he laid it all out there for the badge, and that's something we talk about almost every week is the importance of a guy willing to do such a thing.
Yeah.
And to me that speaks highly. Uh, so I'm gonna go with Pierre. I'm gonna go with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I think he's my
Okay.
man of the match. He just continually was up Manchester's ass, and that's all I could ask for. So still, still would have liked to see more from Harry Kane.
Yep.
Um, Lucas Moore, as you've kind of said, he disappears there on the right, and it was blatantly obvious that's kind of what happened. He had a few bright moments where he got the ball, and
I actually thought Lucas was good today. I think he was, like I said earlier, I
there was a
think
few
he's tied with
passes
Ndombele for
though.
me for man of the match.
This will be our second disagreement here on the pod. I think Lucas Moore did not have a good game. I
Okay.
think I think yes, he did provide energy, which I think he could have done just as much as Steven Bergwijn could have done, and he wasn't even in the 18. In regards to energy, I'm speaking, and I felt like he had nice touches. He had a nice dribble all through the field right here in the 52nd minute. I think I have in the 52nd minute he had a nice dribble followed by a horrible pass to Heung-min Son.
Yeah, I
And
remember. He did all. I remember because Arlo White
it was
and
before the
what is it?
Manchester
Not Robbie
goal.
Musto. But anyways, the commentators were saying how Lucas did the hard part and he basically messed up on the easy part, and I definitely agree. I can definitely see that, man. But honestly, I just thought he had some good moments in this game. I thought he strung together the midfield very well with Ndombele. Um, but let's move on to the real issue here.
All right.
I feel like it's week after week, man. Same issue, different match, same issue. The back line once again had a rough day at the office. Especially, in my opinion, I would say one of the worst performances from Sergio Reguilon for me. Reggie did not have a good game, in my opinion. Of course, Dyer played. I just don't. I don't. The second half is just baffling to me, man. And then Serge Aurier got caught out of position a few times as well. And once again, Joe Roden was really the one who I think played the best out of the back line. Another match, man, where I
Mm-hmm.
think he is growing as a player. He's maturing as a player through each game that he plays in the Premier League. I thought he was really the only semi bright spot back there, but it just wasn't a great day all around
There was
at the
something on,
office from the back line.
and to reiterate your own point there, it was a tough day in the office.
Yep.
I saw a stat out there with Toby. We were 4 wins with 1 loss, and in the same span without Toby, we're 1 win and 4 losses, or something of the
I don't
sort.
get it, man.
I
I
think it
don't
was
get it.
1 win, 1 tie, 1 loss. So
I just want to know what justified the decision of starting Dyer over Alderweireld. Like what did he do? He hasn't been performing in matches recently. It must have been something at training, or it was just a tactical decision by Jose. But in the end, man, I thought it was a terrible decision. Why would you not start Alderweireld in one of the biggest games of the season? You know that 3 points are a must. I don't know if Toby's hurt. He could have had a slight knock. He could be coming back from a pulled hamstring or whatnot from the international break. I don't know,
yeah,
but we're not getting any answers from that point
something
of view, and
something's
it's
going
just
on there.
again, man. Eric Dyer. Why is he starting today? There was no reason for him to be in the 11 today, in my opinion. It
Yeah.
is what it is, man. But like we already said, the back line was absolutely awful today in the second half. Obviously giving up those 3 goals. Fred tap in, a Cavani diving header, and then a Mason Greenwood finish from a pretty tight angle, if I do say so myself. But other bright spots, man, from this match. I know there's not a whole lot, just because of I think the impact this result is going to have on the team. I really hope it doesn't snowball on us. But we already mentioned, Sonny having a bright game, and Dombele. Who else were your bright spots from this match? Harry Kane was a
Um,
little quiet today, sadly. He did make some good passes here and there, but other than that, man, he didn't really have too many chances today.
yeah, I thought Harry Kane went a little invisible there for us today. And these are the games that you want a Harry Kane type to step up. You need a Harry Kane type to step up. And I thought, he did have some good team play. In the goal that we scored today, it was I think started by Tanguy, went from Kane to Mora, and Mora made a great pass to Son. So For me, bright spot, there was some positive play when we had Giovanni out there with Tanguy Ndombele. I think there was some positives to see with that midfield duo. I thought Aurier did okay. Um, he did have some mistakes, and there was a lot of the times it was just Paul Pogba riding on Serge's back. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know you asked for a bright spot, but this is just something I thought of. There was three different occasions on a long ball. He's just on his back. Even there's another video I saw on Twitter after the game going around where Pogba early on kind of dropped the elbow to Serge right there on the touchline. And it's just like, I don't know. He was kind of all over him today. He just big manned him. It was, and if I'm not mistaken, Paul Pogba is also a Jose guy, and Fred, the man who scored first. Uh, they're both Jose Mourinho guys, and it's just kind of like these Jose Mourinho guys, I think, took it, stepped up their game because I think that they like to stick it to their old man, and it
I think Pogba was a Jose guy at the beginning and middle of Jose's tenure at United, but by the end,
they
I
kind
think
of fell
they
out.
didn't like it. Yeah, they didn't like each other by the end of Jose's tenure at United.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean I understand there's a lot of bad blood there, but at the same
yeah.
time, if I'm not mistaken, he won that club some trophies, so I think they
Yep.
should appreciate the man for what he did for him. I think they're pretty disrespectful. I think also their manager Ollie. Um, I thought he was very disrespectful in his comments towards Heung-min Son. I don't want to overstep any lines here, but I also felt like almost incited the hate from the fans that we were seeing on social media directed towards Heung-min Son. He
Yep.
just said, "I wouldn't feed my son if he laid on the ground and needed 10 people to pick." First of all, Ollie wasn't there on the field when it happened. It didn't happen to Ollie. Ollie didn't do it. So to me, he's weighing in on something he saw from across the field. And like, you don't know that Heung-min Son didn't get poked in the eye. I'm sorry, you get poked in the eye in professional fighting and mixed martial arts, they're stopping the fight. Like, they're stopping the fight, and the doctor's going to look at your eye. And I think uh, you watch the replay in slow motion. He gets smacked right there in the eye, right there in the area, and uh, you know it's unfortunate. Two games and two times that people have racially abused our players, and if it's because of a football result, uh, that's quite disappointing. I know this time I don't think it was our fan base exactly. I
It
think it
was
was,
United. They were
yeah,
basically telling Son that he like eats dogs and he's a
DVDs, and I
Korean, you
saw
know
that.
what.
Yeah, and that that's pretty bad because I could sit anyone could sit up and behind their keyboard and say mean things directed towards players, but at the end of the day, like I said last time, these people are human. And I don't think this one will be as hurtful, in my opinion, just because it is a different club's fan base, and so I think as a professional, they could more easily write that off as like, hey, this is just shitheads from another club, like whatever. But
I
if
think
it's from our own club that they're doing that, I think it's different.
I think Tottenham's going to go on a social media boycott, to be
I
honest.
I would support it, to be completely honest. I saw
Me
the
too.
Swansea did that,
Yep. Because
and
enough is enough,
I'm all
man. At the
for
end
it.
of the day, it's the 21st century. This kind of stuff definitely doesn't need to be happening in our world anymore, man. It's ridiculous.
If they can ban your Twitter in 30 minutes for copyright infringement of a video, they can ban your Twitter for saying hateful, racist things to anybody.
For sure.
Professionals and just regular people. I think, um, man, this shit's annoying. It's enough is enough. Like, let's just talk about football. I want to talk about football. I don't want to talk about how this man's getting abused. You know what I mean?
Well, if you want to talk about football, we can move on to the next sad subject of recent news that came out earlier last week. That it was based on an athletic article released by, I believe, Jack Pitt-Brooke and their team over there in the Athletic UK, but they reported that Harry Kane would definitely be looking elsewhere other than Spurs if we don't secure Champions League football by the end of the year. And Jacob, it is what it is. I mean, there's no pretty way to put it. He's fed up. Kane's fed up with the results that have been, I think, happening recently, and sick of the results that happen in big games throughout the years since he's been the starting striker at Tottenham. For me personally, man, Harry Kane will probably forever and always be my favorite player of all time. He's definitely one of the players who helped me fall in love with the game of soccer. I became a Tottenham fan in 2014 when he was first emerging in the Europa League and FA Cup games and slowly breaking his way into the starting 11.
What number was he wearing?
Number 38, the OG,
Hey,
number
that's cool.
38, and then or
That's
was it
cool.
37? I believe it was 37, and then 18 was when that was the 14-15 season.
Yeah.
That was the year where he scored two against Chelsea, I believe, on New Year's Day. And then, obviously seeing him win the Golden Boot in what, 17, 18, and
In
then win
2021
the Golden Boot in at the World Cup in 2018 as well.
and in 2021.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I'll keep saying it until you
For
until you
real.
stop me. He's
In
gonna win that. Come
2021.
on. Come on, Harry.
But look, man, at the end of the day, the type of player that he's become, world-class striker, best striker in the Premier League by far.
Yeah.
He deserves to win trophies, man. He really does. He doesn't deserve this. And in my opinion, if he chooses to leave, it's justified because he has stayed for, in my opinion, far too long and has dealt with the mediocrity. And don't get me wrong, he hasn't shown up in some of the big games that we've played as well. Didn't show up
Yeah.
in the Champions League final. Didn't show up in the Capital One Cup in 16 against Chelsea.
Didn't show up
Um,
versus
hey,
Manchester
but you know what?
United.
It is what it is at the end of the day. What were your initial thoughts when that news came out about Harry Kane?
I try not to dive too much into transfer this, transfer that before transfer windows are open. I think because for me, I'm an emotional guy when it comes to sports. So if I read too much into something, it could make me excited, it can make me sad, it could scare me. It's one of those things
Yeah,
you read, and I think as any Tottenham fan, you're like kind of scared. Um, but I do agree. Hey, this is a full-grown man. Like, let the man go where he wants to go. If he thinks he's better served going elsewhere, then hats off to the man. He's done great things for the club, and I think he'll go down as a club legend. Me personally, I would love to see him stay. I'd prefer it if he stayed. Um, I think if he were to stay and we were to win trophies, it'd be a different story, but it doesn't look like Champions League football is happening for us next year. Does that mean he's not going to be with us next year? Can a team even pay the Harry Kane fee? Does Harry Kane
that was
play?
going to be my next point.
I mean, if you're a team, do you spend 100? What I saw 140 million
104,
pounds,
125 to 140 million. That's what I saw.
and he's 27, had some ankle
28.
issues. I
Yep.
think I think it's a high risk for a lot of teams, and I think if COVID wasn't a factor, if that didn't affect clubs' finances, I would say more than likely he's gone. I think he stays. I think he plays for Tottenham next year. That's just my opinion.
I
Um,
agree. I agree. Just because I don't think anyone can afford him
yeah,
besides your Barcelonas, your Real Madrids, your PSGs, maybe City. They said they wouldn't pay for Holland, so I doubt they'd pay for Harry Kane. Um, but yeah, I just don't think there's a market for him right now
hey,
because
we'll
of
sell
how
City
much
Harry
Daniel
Winks.
Levy will demand. Oh yeah, I'll sell Harry Winks in a heartbeat.
They still want to. They still want to buy him. Come on, baby. Come on.
But yeah, man, I would be furious at the club if he ever left. Um,
I think.
Especially if we don't win a trophy with him, just because I just feel like we wasted some of the best years of our club's history, in my opinion, some of the most exciting and emotional years of our club's history. And seeing, in my opinion, the greatest player to ever wear the shirt. Plain and simple. He's gonna smash. If he stays in the Premier League, he's gonna break Alan Shearer's record of the most goals in the Premier League. He's gonna uh, shatter Bill Nicholson's record of most goals at the club. Like this man already has the most goals in the North London Derby history. He's in my opinion he's going to be the best player at the end of the day, at the end of his career. He's going to be the best player in club history, plain and simple.
No.
And to see him walk away is going to hurt me deeply. But
Well, I'm
can't
here
dwell on
for
it
you,
too much,
buddy.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
here
thank
for
you.
you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Can't dwell on it too much though, because we do have a match this Friday against Everton. It's Everton away, and we know what happened the last time we played Everton. First match of the season. Back when Dele Alli was still starting in the 11. What was it? A 1-0 home loss against Everton. First game of the season, like I said. But
Pathetic.
but Jacob, it's a big game, man. Definitely need a bounce back win after that United performance. But what are your thoughts heading into the match on Friday?
I'm trying to not get my hopes up. I'm
I
trying to not
know
think too much about it. I think they have 2 games in hand on us and they're two
they
points
do.
behind us.
They
It's
only
just
played
not,
29 games, bro.
it's just not looking great. But if I'm not mistaken, they're still in the FA Cup. So maybe their heads are elsewhere. That's all I could hope for, I guess. And I think we're kind of hoping the same thing with Manchester City for the Carabao Cup. But uh,
And yeah,
to go
I even
to go
forgot
back,
the FA Cup, man.
but
They've beat us twice this year. Not only in the Premier League, they knocked us out of the FA Cup too.
that game was a heartbreaker for sure. Um, Yeah, after the first loss and I thought we had a good response to them in the FA Cup loss, but in the end it just didn't work out. It was a fabulous game. It was
Hmm.
highly enjoyable
Exciting.
um up until the final result. But I don't have too high of hopes. I think Jose is going to try to get whatever response he can. That says if he's still with the club at that time. Um,
Man, you really leaning on this prediction that he might get sacked this week,
I'm
huh?
just, I guess, hey, maybe I was on too much social media moping and gloping about the loss and reading into what people are saying. And
Yeah,
it just seems to be the mood. I don't want to see it. I don't think the club's going to do it. That's
me
just where I
neither.
stand. But if it does happen, if it does, um, fuck it. Ledley King, let's go. I'll ride with Ledley. I'm also next man up. I support the manager while he's here. If we have someone next year, if we have Jose next year, I'm going to support him either way. I think I think there's something in that locker room just toxic. It's the whole lot is spoiled. You know what I mean?
I think if he gets sacked, he's not going to get sacked until the summer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
because I
Yeah.
think hopefully they have Julian Nagelsmann of RB Leipzig lined up as his replacement. That's who I would want to manage Spurs next. But I have a feeling, Jacob, you already know who ideally I want to be the Spurs manager, and sadly he's now coaching at PSG. But I
Hey,
hinted at it earlier in the pod, man.
at least we
I
got
think
someone to watch
it's
in the Champions League, right?
for real,
At
yeah.
least we have a team to root for because you want to see it.
Um, it's we mentioned it already, man. Like it's just the locker room's divided. There's not the family atmosphere anymore, at least not to me. It is what it is. I think we're just gonna have to ride out the rest of the season, hope for the best, and then reevaluate in the summer. That's really all I can say, man. Premier League standings update. We're in seventh place, like we already said, 6 points off to the top four. Everton's right behind us with 2 games in hand.
Yeah,
In my opinion, this is just me. I think we need to win out for the rest of the season in order to even have a chance at top four. We
yeah.
can't leave it to chance that
We need to
you
win
know the
out, and we need
Leicesters
teams
and
to
the West
drop
Hams.
results.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't rely on other teams dropping points. We've had to rely on that before in the past, and it hasn't worked out in our favor. It didn't work out against Leicester in the league in 2015-16, and it didn't work for us in the league against Chelsea in 2016-17. So there's no need to rely on other teams dropping points. We got to focus on what we need to focus on. But it's pretty simple, man. Win or we're not going to have Champions League football next season. And right now, we're not even in a position to make the Europa League either. So it is what it is, man. But any final thoughts before we wrap up the pod?
I think I'm slowly letting go of my grasp of top four hopes. I think, and I think it's okay. We all want Champions League football, but how would we have done in Champions League football this season? I think
We
about
would have
that, and
lost in the group stage. Well,
I mean, we could talk about that all
maybe.
day, but my point being that I don't even know if we have a squad ready for Champions League football. That I mean, yes, we want to see it, but to me, I want to see it because I believe we're going to win it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that way about Europa this year, but
Yep.
obviously I was wrong and I have to accept that. So I think I think Tottenham has just slowly gotten me to digest this more and more because I mean, as you said, we're 6 points off top four right now. Everton's got 2 games in hand and they're 2 points behind us. They could sneak up, take top four at any moment. We play them next. It's not looking good. So I think I'm just going to continue to hope for 3 points every game. I look forward to the Carabao Cup. I think that's one positive. We saw that Manchester City is not unbeatable. I
You're right.
bloody Leeds. Hey, they came and gave it
Mamo.
to him. Stuart Dallas repping the Dallas. I appreciate it. So like that was an exciting game at 5 a.m. in the morning. But you know, the positive I have to take is we can still win some silverware. We're not completely out of top four. Maybe we should get more acclimated and just come to the realization that we might not make top four. And I think that's okay because next year, you know what that means? We can focus more on the Premier League itself.
Yep.
And I think that would be bigger for what we're wanting. I think we just got worn out there. We had too many competitions to play and we started dropping points in Premier League and then we started dropping results in all these other competitions and now we are where we are. And that's all you can do is pick up the pieces and move on from where we are. So um
And it starts on Friday at Everton away. Well, everyone, thank you for listening to the United Spurs of America podcast. Please follow us on Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you are interested in joining our Patreon, please consider supporting us. Any amount would be greatly, greatly appreciated. We're also looking for people to engage with us on our Twitter page. So if you have any comments or questions that you'd like us to go over on the pod, definitely give us a shout and let us know. As always, up the lads and come on, you Spurs. For
come
Jacob
on.
Wallraven, I'm Michael Ramirez, and
Come
we'll talk to
on,
you
you
after
Spurs.
the
Oh.
Everton match on Friday. We'll see you later, guys. Up the lads, Coys. Like I said, we'll see you after Everton. Have a good night.